Whew, Lord have mercy. I had to run upstairs while the show opener was. I see. That's why God made me do a 2 minute show opener because He knew you're gonna need time to go do all. I have done so many. You know how much you can do in 2 minutes? Seriously, I put coffee that I warm up in the microwave for 2 minutes. I have gone out to the mailbox, used the bathroom, and washed my hands. And I did something else. What did I do? Oh, and made an English muffin. All before 2 minutes was up. So when I hit the thing, I was like, oh, I don't have my wedding ring on. I have this thing about that. I don't like to do anything without it on because our greatest blessings. I like to take them everywhere I go. Can I get an amen? Welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe. I am out of breath. Loren Michaels Harris, your host, but I'll get there. Don't worry. It's this weight. That's what it is. Seriously, it's this weight from I call it my quarantine curse. Seriously, because you know how you know? I'm gonna tell you how you know. The other day, I was sitting in this very chair. Now, it used to be when somebody, Brian, would ask me something from in the other room, I could just turn everything like it was nothing without using the chair. Just now, I have to go, what? I have to lift and heave. Don't let it happen to you. I'm telling you. And you know what? Look at this. My little trash bucket, right, from yesterday, sitting here working. Almost the whole look, I ain't done. And the rest of the stuff I ate didn't have any evidence. Pray for me. That's all I'm saying. Well, the gyms are going to open back up here, but I don't think we're not going because have you heard what's happened? Arizona. I have a nephew there. He just posted on his page yesterday that he tested positive this week or last week and got the results for COVID-19. He's a college student there. I think Ra's probably around I don't know, 22. Arizona has ordered that all their bars, movie theaters, and gyms are to close now. They opened up early, like in mid-May. Jumping the gun, I said it. A lot of us did. And Arizona reported 4,000 new cases on Sunday alone. 4,000 new positive cases. Um, Also reversing their openings early are Texas, Florida, California. So anyway, you guys, it's moments like these in life that we really have to rely on the I words: instinct, intuitiveness, insight, everything you find internally. Because that's where you hear the voice of the creator loud and clear. Every time we didn't go with that first mind, remember that? Later on, you went, oh, got it. Something told me I knew I should. Better listen. That's all I'm saying. Well, good morning and welcome to the show, Shelly Dale. Hi, Donna. How are you? Tammy LaValle, Kimberly Lechnick, and the rest of the crew all here. We are streaming live. That's right. LIVE across the following platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Roku, Android, Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, and of course, we can't forget our good friends out at E360 TV Live out in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm so happy to be here. It's a blessing. JB, fellow tuber, how are you from the West Coast? Good morning, everybody. Narendra Pun checking in all the way from Singapore. What a great day with a bunch of great people. I couldn't be more happy. Today, I'm really excited about today's guest, and I got to thank you, girls, in advance. The Sister Act is here today. These two just found out the night. I found them yesterday because I had, well, the person, I can't mention their name, but the person that I had for today um, found out that they were COVID-19 positive, and it was a little much. They wanted to sit down. I understand. We'll pray for that, and anyone and everyone who has recently or at any point been found to be positive for the virus. We pray for all of them and for the family. So, good morning to all you beautiful people out there. So these girls were on Awaken Atlanta last week, and apparently they stirred it up over there. That's right. I heard they gave my good friend Tim Ray one good old talking to. They were over there talking about racism. So I want to start today. I'm gonna get these girls in here. I want to talk to them. I want to start by talking about Breonna Taylor. This morning I was thinking, how am I going to get this show started with these two girls? Because I don't want them tearing me a new one. I do not want it. So I thought about Breonna Taylor. I said, wait a minute. I don't even know the story. I know the name, but I don't know the story. I don't know what happened to her, when it happened. And here I'm just as black and don't know. So you see what I'm saying? There are things that we need to do that make it better, that make us better. And I'm the first one to raise my hand and say I ought to be shaming myself. You know what? If I didn't love this face so much, I'd slap the dog out of it. That's all I'm gonna say. So I heard that I heard some ruckus a little bit ago out front, paparazzi and stuff, with people screaming names over here, over here. So I figured those girls are here. Is that Bill? It is, y'all. I knew it. All that ruckus out there. Hi, good morning, girls. How are you?
Oh, I'm good.
Well, no complaints. No complaints. I'm not gonna say it ain't early now.
Oh, that's right, because you're where?
I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico, so we're an hour ahead of you. And I'm just, how you have your morning coffee. If ideally, I would love to have my morning coffee at 11 or 12.
Right.
But I heard that's actually when you're supposed to have your coffee.
Huh.
It's better for your body. I heard that. And what were you going to say, Carm?
She definitely is in the morning person. I'm telling you that. Like,
I know.
Like, hey, Christine, good morning. What's so good about the morning? Well, excuse me. I love the morning, but no, she just comes out right with attitude.
That's swear. Brian. Brian's the same way, and they're both therapists. I think.
Yeah, I don't understand that. But you think they would know more, but I don't understand.
But they'll stay up half the night.
Yeah. Well, I consider myself a midday person. So midday till I usually get in bed around 9:30. So
that's not bad. That's me.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. So and Carm, I got to say it though. You look like you be hanging.
Let me tell you something. I didn't sleep at all last night. I tell you that.
You didn't sleep at all last night. And then she grinning while she said it. That can only mean one thing. Ooh.
I did not sleep good. I was watching TV and my eyes open and I just couldn't do it.
She had a binge. What were you saying you were binging? Is she allowed to say
Designated? Can I say a movie name? Designated Survivor with, what's his name? Heath Sutherland? That's my dude right there.
Designated Survivor?
Survivor on Netflix. Yeah. I've been checking it out.
Is that a movie or a show?
It's a series. Netflix.
Oh, okay, we always I gotta sound that one out. Designated.
Right. I can't help you spelling that.
I got it. Designated what?
Survivor.
Brian and I are always looking. How many seasons though? Because we don't like getting started on something that's got one season.
I don't know. I just start watching.
It's good though.
Yeah, I'm like I was up all night and I had a show today, so I'm tripping.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you guys know because last night I told you we were waiting while we were on there. He was in there waiting. He goes, "Should I just turn this off?" Because I was taking so long. We were watching Queen Sugar. And we just wait, and when people tell us it's series, we'll watch it. But I am so glad we'll be watching you all series before too long. I have a feeling, the two of you. Listen, now you're obviously sisters, real blood sisters. Dr. Ross down at the bottom of the screen. Why don't you kick things off this morning? Introduce yourself to the viewers. Tell them where you're at, what you do, and then we'll pass it over to your sister.
So as Loren already graciously introduced me, I'm Dr. Christine Ross. Y'all welcome because you are not my clients to call me Christine. So basically, I'm a marriage and family therapist in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and own 2 practices. I have my own practice, which is called Faith Works Counseling, as well as Faith and Grace Therapeutic Services that I own with my BFS, Dr. Ashley Martin Quager, who is also here in Albuquerque. So, that's really my grind these days. I go to work, church. Well, when I say church, I stream. I stream. Okay. These days and talk to my fam is mostly what I do. A lot of my research is around racial issues is what I did my dissertation on.
Okay, well, good. We got somebody in the know here about it today. Listen, before we go to Carm, I want you guys right now. I feel it, and when the Spirit tells me to do something, I don't ask how high to jump or when should I leave. I'm already out the door. So right now, I want every one of you to become a part of something greater than yourselves. So how do you do that? Somebody out there that's not here needs to be here. So I want you to invite somebody. I don't care if they face pop on in your mind up on the big screen, or their name, or you just get a feeling, some hair on your arm just stood up. Text, send this to somebody and tell them to get over here to Bathrobe Moments. They're about to hear something that could change their lives. I guarantee you, you may not know it today, but the day will come when you're standing up on the highest precipice, and what is greater than you is going to show you fields and orchards just full of fruit, full of vegetables, full of all things good, and say, you know, everything you see out there, you planted it. Now's the time. Plant that seed. Get somebody in here, won't you please? Thank you. So anyway, Carmen, tell us about yourself.
I'm a student at the University of Missouri St. Louis, and I'm getting my degree. I'm graduating in December. Hey,
congrats!
Yeah. I've been working.
You hope. Well, you're gonna graduate. Well, let's hope you can actually walk.
Walk, right?
Yeah. We'll make that work because I have some plans.
We'll claim it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So well, if you don't walk regularly, she'll walk across the driveway at least.
Right, yeah, that's right.
Something.
With Pomp and Circumstance playing on the boombox, all of that.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, if that was me, especially high school, I'm serious. I would have had some speakers outside, and I'd have lined up at the end of the cul-de-sac and did my little graduation march all the way.
Yeah.
See, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you know, that kind of looks like the choir at church. Remember when the choir used to come in from the back? Remember how they used to come in and go up the side?
Yeah, just going, got that groove.
Yeah. Okay. Irk Phillips. I see you peeking in here. Irk, all the way from out in Los Angeles. Love him. He said, I am so listening. So go ahead, Carl. So you're going to graduate in what?
I'm doing information systems management. So information systems and technology. It's a computer degree.
Okay, I'm like, what the hell?
I'm doing IT. Let's just say that. I'm
real. Wow.
So
okay, I didn't know you were all up in there like that. Oh, good morning, Crystal Crockett. A wonderful anointed woman of color here in Chicago, has a wonderful nonprofit for women, giving them homes and stuff and helping them get back on their feet from whatever part of the journey took them off their feet momentarily. Good to see you here, Miss Crystal, and everyone else. So, ladies, I'm gonna let you get started. Tell somebody, fill me in. What's the story about Brianna? Yeah, because you know, and I want to know, why is it they finally started using the females' names? Because there's always been female victims of this, but finally they started using the names. But how come? How did I not know the story?
You know what? Well, I feel like it didn't necessarily get lost in everything, but I feel like everything, you know, people were so big on George Floyd, which I'm not going to disagree with, that I think it kind of got lost behind it, that, you know, you hear George Floyd, and then then in a little bit later, you would hear Breonna Taylor. But basically what happened is she's sleeping in her bed at her house like she's supposed to be. It is the middle of the freaking night, and SWAT or whoever comes in, breaks down the door, boyfriend pops up,
starts shooting, whoever it is, he don't know who it is, and then they shoot back, and then she gets shot dead, and they tried to get the boyfriend, arrest him for some, I'm not sure exactly what the charge was, because he shot back. But I'm telling you one thing, if you roll up in my house without being announced, or maybe even being announced, you might get shot.
That's just you know who you announced that you are.
Right. If I wasn't expecting, oh no, you cannot do that. And this no-knock warrants is ridiculous. It's a setup for murder.
Right. No-knock warrants. Now, you remember that police woman, she wasn't black, the white one, who went to the wrong floor of her apartment building and killed her.
She went to the wrong.
Now listen, you already know.
Right.
When you get to your door, on the way, there's a mark on the wall. There's something, a stain on the carpet. Right. You know, even when you crack that door, all our houses got its own smell. You know, as soon as you know.
There's no way. To your point, boy. At the end of the day, I'm gonna roll up in there and I'm like, well, who the heck's furniture is this? Like, and even before that, like, how did that mark get on my door?
Right. Or wait a minute, as soon as you step in, you know something ain't right. This ain't my house. I've done it. I did it. I promise I did. I sat down in the car. I have a Volvo S90. Back then it was black 2 years ago. I promise you. And I never see that car. And it was open, and I left the sunroof open, this sunroof open. I didn't even notice that my car was right next to it at the dual parking. I done got in, and I put the seatbelt on, and I was like, this seat, because the guy was tall. He came while I was sitting in there, and
He
like, but then all of a sudden it just poured down on me. This don't smell like my car. This seat don't feel right. Whose stuff is that in the console? Where's my phone charger? All kind of stuff.
Like common sense stuff.
And then the next thing,
broke in my car and put that crap in there.
Yeah, right. And then the guy is standing beside me, on the window. Why are you in my car? I said, I thought he was gonna kill me. But then when I got out, he goes, I already know what happened. You're right there. I was like, okay, and then he was black too. So I was glad, because if he hadn't been,
you never know. You never know.
Yeah,
there's a black guy trying to steal my car. Hurry, hurry. You know, I'm just saying it's possible.
You ain't lying.
So let's talk about that. The hypothetical. Do you think that how would you have felt if you were a person? Well, you can't say, let's say if you came to your car and you saw a white woman in your car getting all strapped in. What are you going to do?
Well, first of all, I'll have a weird look on my face. That's the first thing I'll do. Like, I mean, that was shock. Actually, I think I'll be so shocked about it occurring in front of me. But then, actually, I don't know. I'll probably just freak out.
No,
right.
I was because with sis, I think I would, because to that point, I feel like if I was in somebody's car and a white man came up to me or a woman, they'd be like, oh my goodness, she tried to steal my car. But if it were me, I'd be like,
get out my car.
And I feel like I would have to contemplate, is this my car?
Maybe I'm in the wrong.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm like, am I the crazy one here?
Well, it was just so unusual because, first of all, I know this town, and I know, you see your own car when other people are in it. You're like, I'm trying to drive my shit. You know what I'm saying? And then he was a brother on top of it. So I was so glad that he was observant. He had a great attitude about it. He thought it was funny because walking up to his car, he saw my car. He said, I almost went over to that exact same year, 2017. But now that's why when I went and got my new car, I made sure I got a color that you rarely see, because I was like, I don't want that to happen. Now my husband's car is a silver Camry. Do you know how many of those there are?
Right.
I'm just saying, right. So you guys got some family members in the house, and I want to ask you about this other one. Hi, Jonathan Lopez. Said these are look at Jonathan with his little public school self. These are my nicest. Don't worry, I can't spell that one either. I always switch the I and the E.
Yeah,
but at least I'll get the E in there, Jonathan. Now, this is the one. I was on your Facebook last night looking for you, doctor. And then you sent me the request. But I saw this person, and I was like, now tell me if I'm wrong. I saw her, and I said, I need to know her.
Oh, my mama.
That's your mom?
Yes, that's my mama.
Now, she got on that pretty red lipstick on your Facebook thing. Is that her?
Yep, that is her.
Yeah, she looks so cute.
Are you talking about that picture that's popped up on the side?
Yeah, in the friends.
Yeah.
Is that her?
Yeah, that is her.
She looks really cute. So your mom is here. She's talking about my girls. Tell us about your family dynamics and growing up. And then, doctor, I want to know, what was it that drew you and lured you into all that hard work known as a dissertation about the race issue? Go ahead. Start with you. Go ahead, Carm. Okay. By the way, everybody, Carmen is the oldest. So when you see her boss and Dr. Ross around, don't think you can do it. She's the only one to do it.
The opposite, because she's grown,
Okay, so tell us.
Respect. So we grew up in, a suburban family in South Kansas City. Well, actually in Grandview, right outside of South Kansas City. So a black neighborhood.
Kansas or Kansas City, Missouri?
Yeah. So
I used to live in Raytown.
Oh, really?
I was in a foster home. I was in a foster home in South Raytown.
Yeah, we got a lot of family there.
You do?
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah,
So
brown.
go ahead. Okay, I'm gonna shut up.
My dad, electrical engineer, he graduated from Mizzou, and we moved in our neighborhood. He built his own house, and we're so proud. They built their house, moved in, all white neighborhood. Within the first year, all white people moved out. Everybody's gone, so it turned into a black neighborhood
Because of y'all.
Yeah. So
Well, and I think, even with that, I will say we grew up in a still a diverse community in a lot of ways. As far as I had to realize I was lucky, and me and sis were talking about this not too long ago, that a lot of our principals were black, and Kansas City, the mayor were black, the teachers were black. So, as black people and black students, we had people to look up to. It wasn't just someone, just white teachers and all this other stuff. Like pretty much,
all of our principals were black.
I was gonna say, I don't think I had a white principal when I was growing up until I moved to my principal here in Albuquerque, because we got here when I was in high school, was Hispanic. So
So you feel that played a huge role in how you lived your life or designed your life, let's say.
Oh, definitely. And our dad was really strong. Our parents taught us about education. Like when we grew up, we knew that we're going to college. It wasn't a thought. It wasn't a doubt. That's just what we do. And our family does that. We have a lot of college educated family members. So that was how we were raised.
How many siblings do you guys have?
It's just 3 of us. So we have an older brother, and then sis next, and then I'm the baby.
Okay, you say just 3. I bet you wouldn't say just 3 if you was supporting 3.
Right. But let me tell you,
expensive. That's a lot.
By December, all my mom's kids are going to have a bachelor's degree or higher. So she definitely should be proud of us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So back to you, Dr. Ross, again. What was it that made you say, because I'm sure you tossed around a few ideas, no?
Well, so growing up, I actually wanted to be an attorney, and I stick by it. I would have been a good attorney.
Right. That's what I was going to do too.
Yeah. So, but really,
I had other plans.
Well, exactly. And that's actually where I'm at with it. The Lord had other plans. I remember being in high school, went to a fair, a college fair, and there was New Mexico State University and a family and child science program. And the Lord was like, "You gonna do that?" I said, "Okay." But then college came, it was first time, like our family's super close. So Las Cruces is 3 hours away, though it's not much away, but that's after already moving from Missouri to Albuquerque. And there is 3% Black people in this state, and then saying I'm gonna move 3 hours away. So I went to TBI at the time, now CNM, went to the community college, then finally, like 2 years later, went to New Mexico State, started with my degree in psychology, and then the Lord's like, "Girl, listen." Like it's like that little boy, "Listen, Linda."
Okay.
Linda.
Right.
Yes, exactly. So I went into psychology, and again, I don't even know why I did that, because I just felt like, oh, I'm gonna do my own thing. Hated it. Went to family and child science and absolutely loved it. And then the Lord was like, hold up, you're not done yet. Now you're gonna get your master's degree in marriage and family therapy. So then I went ahead and did that. And one of the reasons that I like the field of study that I'm in, because a lot of people don't realize there are different wings of counseling that you have. You have social workers, you have your LPCCs, you have licensed marriage and family therapists, and we all come from a different dynamic. And how I usually explain it on a rudimentary, if I can talk, on a rudimentary level, if I can speak.
That's a big word.
Break it up in syllables, girl. Break it up into syllables.
Right. Especially at 7:30 for me right now.
Okay. Right. Go ahead.
But so social work basically is coming from the perspective that we change through policy, that we change through looking at policies within society. While we look at, and they also look at individual therapy or theory. When we look at regular counseling or licensed professional counselors or clinical counselors, we're looking at a person-centered approach that I feel like if I speak to you, I'm speaking directly to you and how you can change your world. How we look at it from a systemic framework as marriage and family therapy, I'm saying anything my sister does impacts me.
Correct.
It does not just stay, it's a domino effect. And that's how the world realistically is. I could be driving down the street and somebody hits me. Now that system of the person who hit me is now interacting with my system, which then impacts my sister, because I'm gonna call my sister and my mama first
and bug the heck out of it.
I'm like, this fool just hit me. So I was like, we don't live in a vacuum. So that's really how I landed up in marriage and family therapy. So me and my best friend, Ashley Martin Quaker, we used to go to the gym together back in grad school during our master's degree. So we're sitting here. She goes, yeah, I'm gonna get my doc. And I'm like, girl, you better than me. I ain't finna get nothing. I'm done with school. So next thing we know, we both get in our doctorates at the University of New Mexico in family studies. So
see, that goes to show you right there. When you look back over your shoulder to the life you've been living, and it takes courage to do that. It's really interesting when you see all the twists and turns that took place in order to get us exactly where we need and should be. Now, Sister Carm, before we get to you, Shelly Dale, one of our viewers, says, if you come to break in my house, you better stand outside for a minute, get right with Jesus, and tell him you'll see him shortly. That's a good one. That's a good one. I know that's right. I feel
that's anybody, though. That's anybody.
Right.
That's a natural reaction. And for the cops to be like, thinking that's right to do to somebody, I mean, it don't make no kind of sense whatsoever.
Here's my next question. Having grown up in a home where, as you mentioned, education was up for discussion. It was an automatic, and that's how it was in our family too. How do you feel today? Do you feel like, and this is for everybody, do you feel that have we made any strides? And this is what I don't hear when we talk about all the protests and this and the other, and we talk about things got to change. I never hear anybody mention those things that we have seen change, even a little bit, because I think we need to be reminded why we're in the fight. I mean, who's going to stay in a battle that they think they have no chance of winning ever? So what do you feel name the top stride or two, if you could, that you think that you've experienced, that you feel is a positive and it's here to stay. It's not kind of slipping back and then coming up, slipping back and coming up, something that has changed because of the fight. And that we can look at and say, see, there's proof right there that if you stick with it, it'll work. Anybody who wants to go first on that?
I think there's a few things like the Confederate statue situation.
That's recent. Yeah.
That's unheard of happening, period. Because we've been fighting this for years and years and years, and nobody was listening. And all of a sudden, bam, we can change this when we see video. I mean, video. I mean, you would think that, I mean, there's a lot of videos that are out there. It's blatantly obviously that this is wrong. But for some reason, things are changing. And I don't know if it's because of the black dollar, but I know also that the white people are running hard. My girlfriend, she lives in Alton, Illinois. And the white population here, they are getting at it when it comes to protesting every weekend. They're going hard for us. I got my white friends losing family members and friends.
Yeah,
it's deep
same
in
here.
Hard. And they said, I'm hurting. I'm getting tore up. And I say, keep fighting. Because we're always going to have to fight. This is not going to just end. We're going to have to fight until we see Jesus in sweet glory land.
Hi, honey.
I want to add to what Sister is saying, because I think at the end of the day, one of the biggest changes has been the white voice in this fight.
Agreed.
So I think that is what really has shifted. That it's not, because like even when we were on Awake in Atlanta. I
don't know. We don't talk about other shows. Only I said earlier. Awake in Atlanta. Yeah.
But when we were on there, it's one of those things that whites don't understand that it is their job to educate their community on this. And I'm not saying we don't play a role, but at times it's easy for that community to get this complacency by saying, well, they're just saying this because they're Black. Right. As opposed to, no, when your white brothers and sisters approach you about that, they're not saying it because they're Black. And all of us cannot just be lying about this situation. So I feel like more empowered for my white community to say, yes, this stuff is going on. It's real. They're not lying. And we are your brothers and sisters in this fight.
Yeah. Okay. Same question, other sister.
Yeah, like what I was saying earlier too. Yeah, I believe that the white voice, but I think I want to tell you what's lacking too. I'm sorry, I'm going to squeeze this in. What's lacking is the white evangelical voice. We grew up in the church, and I have a lot of friends who grew up deep in the church, and I know right now a lot of my past churchmen, they're silent on the racism. And I think that's Trump's base. Trump's base is the white evangelical vote. And the thing is that they're not seeing racism. I don't understand why. I mean, these are not facts. This is not opinions. You can look on the the FBI, all these websites that show the disparities among races. So, I mean, I just don't understand why people just don't look for facts and take facts as facts instead of making their own.
Okay. So when was the last time one of you unequivocally, no questions asked, sat in your home or someplace and reflected on a recent
time to start your day?
Thank you, Alexa. She's so late. Girl. You know what? That's scary. You know, you used to have to say her name to get her to talk. Now she just cut in when she got anything on her mind. Oh, time to get up and stretch, make a sandwich, call a friend. I was like, okay, Alexa, I found myself getting up. I'm like, wait a minute, you don't rule me. Okay, I'm calling. Tell you what, that AI, you know about that kind. So listen, when was the last time one of you experienced some form of racism? What was the shade of it, and how did you know? Because not all of it is so overt. Sometimes, you know, those ones that they think you don't get, that's the ones that get me the most. Because, you know, I have no filter.
Oh, let me tell you about this. So Christine, I feel that she might think I've been overreacting about this. But we went to China and we're in the airport.
I was not overreacting about this.
Right now.
I agreed.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. So what we're saying is we're in the airport, and this guy, we were having a conversation with him that we all were in the China. We went to what did you call it? A plane trip, you know, travel guide. Yeah. And he said, "Your dad should be proud of you. You speak well." And I'm looking at my sister like, "What am I supposed to sound like? I mean, what do you mean I speak well?" And I was like dumbfounded. Like, I mean, and he looked at me straight face like that was not an issue because he did not recognize that's an issue. So what that tells me is he thinks that I must have to sound ignorant because I'm Black. Because what else do you? I ain't never heard a person tell a white person, "Oh, you articulate really well." Like when it comes to our conversations, I notice with my white friends that's brought up. And I mean, it just throws me. So that bothered me a lot.
That bothered you.
Yeah.
Well, so the last one that I can say an overtly racist thing occurred, I was actually at an event with my church, and we were serving the community. It was our serve week for the community. So anyways, I was there with my my young nephew who is mixed with Black and Chinese, but very dark skinned. It has curly hair, all this other stuff. So he's standing by me. And there's a line of homeless people waiting to go through the line to get their items. And a white lady standing by me that apparently went to my church, but I didn't know who she was. I go to a pretty large church. And she looks at my nephew. Keep in mind at the time, he's like 8 or 9. She looks at him with like disgust and goes, "Go closer to the line." And I'm thinking, what the hell is going on here? So I said, Godson, that's my nephew's name. God said, "Where are you going?" And I'm like, and she goes, "I'm sorry. I thought he was with the homeless people." So to me, what it
No.
looks like, he has a dark hair. He has dark hair, like curly hair. He has like a dark skin, of course. So I
Right.
feel like she was like, "Oh, he looks dirty," and
That's what she said. That's why I just started taking my jewelry off.
Okay.
Oh, just stay right there. Don't go nowhere. Hold on.
Mhm.
Right, because I'm gay. I ain't got no problem beating down a woman. I'm just kidding. I'm
But then,
kidding.
you know, we're not seeing that
Kidding.
sometimes.
Everybody goes, don't give me no hate mail. I'm playing. I don't believe in violence. What now?
Have you seen Little Fires Everywhere? Hulu show?
Do you have
No, but I smell some smoke. Oh, you mean for real, little fire?
Yes.
I'm writing it down.
Okay.
If you have Hulu, anybody watching, if you have Hulu, you
Watch
need to
Little
watch
Fires.
Little Fires Everywhere.
So it has Kerry Washington in it, and she's basically comes into this white community, and this white family kind of takes her under their wing. But the white family has a lot of racist and stereotypes, stereotypical ideals in their family, but they're unaware of it. But when you're watching it, you can see how she's interacting with the black person, and she's thinking she's there to help, but really behind it is stereotypes and all these things, presumptions that she has about black people. And it's kind of eye-opener because, like, I know a lot of my white friends, I really don't believe they're like, oh, you know, I'm better than black people. I don't believe that they're deliberately.
Right, I don't either.
I just think that they're conditioned, just like, I mean, because, you know, you learn from your family to pass on from generation to generation, and you see what on TV, and it sides what you believe because, you know, you see it all the time on TV.
Correct.
And you're just sometimes not aware, and you need to be taught, because sometimes white people need to be taught not to be racist.
There we go. And vice versa.
Right.
And when we come back from break, we're going to talk about that. I'm going to do a little experiment. And I pulled up, just while you guys were talking, I went into one of the back rooms and pulled up the first video that speaks to what's going on Facebook. And I have it pulled up. I don't know what it's about. I know there's a warning of profanity on the screen, so it ought to be good. You know? Because I was actually looking for that one. I saw one the other day where there was an older white woman and a black woman in 7-Eleven. Did you see that one?
Yes, I've seen that one.
Where she called her the N-word, and she said, I'm the wrong one. Keep call me that again. The woman said it behind the mask. Now, this is something, too. I find that we call them cell warriors. People who, you know, say something because, you know, you can't get at them. There are people who are whispering things behind the mask, thinking you couldn't hear it, and this woman's whisper doesn't look it too loud, and it got her to beat down. But I also want to address when we come back from break, because I got a feeling from the disclaimer what we're going to see, where lies the responsibility for us as people of color in how we communicate our anger. So think about that. We'll be right back. Call a friend, tell them to get in here. There's still a few minutes to get some of this blessing. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Loren Michaels Harris here, and thanks for stopping by and spending some time with us this morning here on Bathrobe Moments. Help me welcome to the show. I'm a little late, but she's under contract, so I got to get it in. Miss Luz McGillicuddy Ricardo, and we're drinking on some toasted caramel. Now, before we went to break, in case you just popped in, my guests today are Carm and Dr. Ross. These are sisters who are here today, and we're talking about some of everything. Right now, though, we're going to cut to something I have not seen, and I'm distracted because I see a notification of talking about PayPal message me. Come on, man, PayPal. You can message me anytime you want. Okay, I know, because I know y'all see my eyes. What? some money, So anyway, this is just an arbitrary, not seen it myself, a piece of footage that's in the Facebook watch section that I want to share, and let's talk about it and see what we think. My question is, going into it, let's pay attention to how we communicate as people of color about the things that we're fed up about. Is there something we can do better, or are we doing okay? Let's look. Okay. Is that it? Okay, I think that's it. Yeah. Okay, wait a minute, y'all. I'm old. Hold on. Okay. And I gotta turn this on. Make this bigger. And let me see, can y'all see that? Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm getting ready to go down. Oh, nice shot of the feet.
Mhm.
I can hear them though. I can hear what they're saying. Wait, I'm gonna have to go forward in this.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Moving up. Let's go to the good stuff.
Sit either. They told us that we had to remove the chairs and that we could not sit on the sidewalk, and we let them know that we're simply praying and meditating for change. There are literally 12 people out here at this point. It is a protest, but more than anything, we are praying and we're meditating for change. And now RPD and State Capitol PD are threatening to arrest the citizens of Raleigh for sitting, praying, and meditating on public property that their taxes pay for.
The TV lady can't say nothing.
There is a possibility that you guys could be arrested, and we spoke about that not too long ago. Are you not concerned at all about that?
I think the main reason, at this point in time, the main reason that people are still praying is for their rights, right? So they're praying and they're sitting for their rights. We think that this is criminalization of people who are experiencing homelessness. We are not necessarily out here protesting against the condition of homelessness that many people in America, and specifically in North Carolina, and specifically in Wake County, and specifically in Raleigh face.
Okay.
But it's very clear that this is an attack on homelessness. Legitimately, we've been out here for 9 hours, and for 12 hours since 9 o'clock last night. And after 12 hours of being on the streets of Raleigh, you were threatened with arrest. If we didn't have the community behind us that we do, one of us would be in jail right now. I'm not sure why the city of Raleigh, why Raleigh PD backed off. I think it's by and large because they don't have grounds to arrest. We've made it very clear with the signs that you can see over there that this is not a private function. The ordinance that they keep handing us mentions that we can't take up space for a private function. This is a public function. We're just a group of people that disagree about something that's sitting on Roy Cooper's desk.
Okay, so listen, here's what we talk. Ordinarily, I might pass that up and not even look at it because of that big old disclaimer. I thought they were going to be, look, mother, kiss my back. No, mama, that I thought for real that it was going to be. Didn't I say, ooh, get ready, it must be
Right.
good. And then here we hear, for the most part, we watched for 3 minutes, and I heard not one word of profanity. I heard an articulate woman of color speaking about a protest that was praying, meditating, sitting, 12 people. But look what the media did. Now, I'm not saying there's not something further in, but really, don't you think if it was as bad as they made me think on the outside of it, that I would have heard it a little, we would have heard something? What is this? Now, see, because I really thought she was going to be indignant.
Right. Right.
Because they set it up for me to expect that.
Right.
What is that? So listen. So it's, you know what this looks like to me? It looks like it's true that, for every step that we have to take to make change, we really have to take 5 or 6 to equal what should be 1.
Right. Correct.
Because of all these things like that we have to circumvent in order to stay the course. You have really got to be dedicated 1,000% and willing for whatever. I'm glad Jesus didn't have step up on the cross and said, I'm going to stay up here regardless.
Yeah.
So what say you about that? What we just saw and what we think it represents. What does it say? Carmen, let's start with you. Oh, okay. Let her go. Because I already know, Carmen. I got to let you get yours in, or Dr. Ross will say, anyway,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Come on.
it's crazy. No matter how we protest, no matter how peaceful, no matter how violent, no matter how in between, it's still going to get flagged, regardless.
Mhm.
Because Dr. Martin Luther King did it peacefully. He got shot and he got flagged.
Mm-hmm.
So every step we're taking, part of moving forward to me is having to take some steps back sometimes. It's in the process. It's not going all the way back, but sometimes you got to step back. But the thing is that if we have to fight, and it's going to be hard. And
Well, and it's just saying, I feel like a lot of people, especially people who have not experienced struggle or don't want to see that lens of struggle, they consider someone not following the law to be indignant, like you said. So, and it's in that reality of it is, if like what Martin Luther King said, if we allow injustice anywhere, we allow it everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes we have to like take up that mantle, and sometimes it does require you breaking the law in order for change to occur. When we look at the civil rights movement, they were riding on buses, or then not riding on buses at all. They were sitting on white only diners. They were doing all these things that at the time were against the law, or were not against the law. Like right now, these Confederate flags are not against the law, but it is something that causes oppression towards groups of people within this country, particularly Black and other minorities. It's a oppressive symbol. So I think in general, people get afraid of protesting that, oh, I'm gonna get arrested or I'm gonna do this. But none of our Black butts would be here without having broke the law.
True. Here's one for you. Take this and chew it up real quick. I'm a big proponent of this. I just had 2 specials. One with 5 generations of Black men. The youngest was a 12-year-old. The oldest was my old crusted behind. I was the oldest one. I just recently, with the loss of my brother-in-law, took us on life a couple weeks before COVID showed up. I was catapulted into the role of patriarch. Didn't expect it. But it comes with responsibilities, because now the nieces and nephews, everybody's calling me. I get more phone calls and texts and things. It's like they bring the info to me first. And I also feel the responsibility of protecting the stories. Now, that leads to my question. As an educated Black family, and even if there were no education to speak of within your family, traditionally, we have passed our stories down to each other. Somebody's recipe for dressing, somebody's peach cobbler recipe. Now, we'll do it with stuff like this, but where is the conversation within our family dynamics where, we learn about Black history, what Rosa did, what Martin did in the school, but who do we know? Who do you know in your family that marched? Do you know those stories of what happened to Aunt so-and-so when she tried to sit at the front of the bus? We have golden stories, platinum stories within our own family dynamics that have been lost, because just like one day we hope that the people that are coming after us will be telling a story about what we've done to incite change. Where are the stories of those who came? We're standing on the shoulders. We have ancestors, family members closer than you could even imagine, that have all but lost their lives, and in some cases did lose their lives, for the opportunities that we live with today. So my question is this: how relevant are those stories in our own family dynamic? Do we have them? Do we need to unearth them? Do you know of any? If I ask you who was the person in your family, because there's 2 of you here from the same family, who was the person in your family that you guys speak to, that she was out there, he was out there on the front lines? They've told you the stories about when they got arrested, when the hoses hit them, when they turned the dogs on them, whatever it was. Do you have any of that?
No, I mean, not that we were told. Not that I know that I asked my family.
Same in my family. Nothing.
Yeah.
That's like, what were you doing during the civil rights movement? And
why don't we have that?
I don't know. But then I know my grandpa was like, he lived in an all-black community and they were just trying to survive. He told me stories about a lot of the racism and how they couldn't walk on certain streets in Kansas City,
Sure.
period. So like he'll tell me the struggle and how it impacted them. But I have not heard of any stories about someone on the front lines.
See what I mean? That's why today we're writing the stories that will or should be told later.
Right.
So if the stories had to fall through the cracks, because I can't believe none of our ancestors, we got 2 families represented, actually 3, because I have an adopted and a birth family. I don't know those stories from either one of them. So how can that be? Where are the cracks that these stories of the people whose shoulders we really truly stand on and owe a debt of gratitude to by keeping their story alive? That's why DNA and fingerprints go to the grave with us. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. But there is that third component, our stories, which are left behind to live, to still do the work they were doing. That's why the truth never changes, so that those stories can always have a heartbeat.
Well,
So
and
what can we do now to make sure that this time that we're living in creates a story that can help those ahead of us?
Well, and I think to your point is one, becoming activists, really pushing forward, really taking up our own mantles. Because to your point, Loren, at the end of the day, I'm sure there are stories in both of our families, but they weren't never told. So we cannot pass it down. And we have to keep in mind that now it is a stronger statement to have a loud voice than to have a quiet voice. And I think sometimes, especially during that time, people were afraid still, even though the movement occurred, people were afraid to have a loud voice, even within the families, because they're like, I need to protect my people. So I don't even know, like, I'm very curious where these stories went. But now as we fast forward to today, it is time to have a loud voice. It's time for us all to have our mark within history and say what role we played within this fight. Even if that role at times was that I educated myself and I told my friends about this. I'm not, everybody's not called to march and protest, but
Amen.
in the streets, but everybody is called to march and protest among their friends, among their family. If you're seeing injustice within your workplace, if you're seeing injustice like when you're at the grocery store, we are called to that.
Silence is a big problem. And the thing is that we need to work to be anti-racist, because a lot of people can be non-racist.
Right.
But it's not enough, because non-racist does not change nothing.
That's good.
Nothing.
Anti-racist, because non-racist just means you're complacent, or like I'm not that. But when you put something down, you got to pick something else up.
Exactly.
Action. And that's what we need. But within our family union, I have 2 nephews, and I fostered 4 of my cousins, and we spoke about race issues, and they were little bitty, because that's our reality. So these conversations are happening within the African American family unit, but then we just need to set some plans in action more of that. We need to talk about, well, not only let me enlighten you, son or daughter, but what can we do to put our stamp on things? What can we do as a family to change this? But the thing is, one thing is hard, as Christine says, like, we can't teach everybody. We can't teach everybody.
No.
So, and that's the thing, and not everybody wants to hear the truth. People like lies. It's easier to you won't get offended by lies a lot of times. It's just things.
No,
but that truth will make you ready to.
But the truth can hurt too. That's okay to be hurt. It's okay to be offended by the truth.
Well, because it's like, so we're talking about, when we talk about biblical principles within that, the Bible says iron sharpens iron. Like, it has to be hit and clashed together. It has to be damaged before it is strengthened. And we don't realize that at times we gotta suffer a hit. We got to suffer a crisis. For my practice, my motto for it, there's always a crisis before a change. Something has to be pushing you. Something has to be challenging you in order to propel you to be where you need to be. So or when we're talking about both blacks and whites and brown people, whatever, what is pushing you right now to propel you with to where you need to be. If somebody is calling you racist, if somebody is calling you this or that and whatever, then you have to take a step back and say, well, let me actually reflect. No matter how much my feelings got hurt by this, let me reflect to consider if this is true. And I'm not going to just go by these yes people in my life. Who is the person who is the iron that is hitting against me so that I can be propelled in the new direction?
Ladies, as much as it pains me, we are out of time. We have about 1 minute left, and I ain't trying to get fired by the network. So here's what we're going to do, though. I'm looking over. We're going to set you guys to come back. I think we're already booked all the way into August for Bathrobe Moments After Dark. But I'm going to put you guys in, if you're willing, into the very next open slot. And we're going to pick this up over there and watch between now and then what happens, and we'll have more to talk about. It isn't the thing is, just have the conversation, and that's what we're doing. Have the conversation. Sometimes you'll agree, sometimes you won't, but sometimes you'll meet right in the middle, that ooey gooey chewy sweet spot, which is known as truth and purpose, and that's all that matters. So I want to thank you too, Dr. Ross and Carm, the Ross sisters, for coming today and sharing your truths with us. God bless you. Keep doing what you're doing. Anything in closing? Final 10 seconds, both of you. Carm?
My mom's really proud of us, and I love you, Mama. You created these beings, and you taught us how to live right. Thank you.
Yes, she did. Dr. Ross, final thought?
Yeah, same here. Like, you guys keep on pressing forward, keep on challenging yourself, keep on fighting the good fight.
Thank you. Couldn't have said it better myself. Listen, I'm Loren Michaels Harris. You've been inside this episode of Bathrobe Moments. We'll be back here, God willing, tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Central, to do it all over again. I'll meet you out on the front porch. Be blessed and stay safe.